Greetings, everyone. The Zimbabwe Catholic bishops have written a letter. It's a letter dated on the 18th of July 2022. In the letter, they are talking about the economic and political crisis that we are going through as a country in Zimbabwe. The letter was written on behalf of the Zimbabwe Catholic bishops by Archbishop Robert Ndlovu. In the letter which I quote, it says, part of the letter says, these elections are already being preceded by political intolerance, violence, and bloodshed. What has exacerbated our situation is the economic instability of the country, which has brought with it instability in the financial markets, resulting in continuous increases in prices of basic commodities, leaving them beyond the reach of the poor, close quote. In 2017, just ahead of the 2018 elections, the Zimbabwe Communist Party said the outcome of a 2018 election was not going to resolve the economic and the political crisis in Zimbabwe. What we needed was dialogue, which the Catholic bishops are calling for now. We have been over years, since 2017, calling for the national economic dialogue so that we are able to address our economic fundamentals. Inflation is going northwards. Things are expensive. Young people are living in droves. There is no political will to resolve the economic crisis. And we have said, ZANU-PF on its own, it will not resolve the economic crisis that our country is faced with. And this is also now an observation by the bishops in Zimbabwe. And they say, I quote, in order to overcome our social, political, and economic challenges, there is need for a meaningful, inclusive dialogue in the country. If there is a lesson from our synodal journey, it is precisely that we cannot go it alone. No single political party has all the answers. Hence the importance of listening to each other as we journey together, close quote. So the election in 2023 will not resolve the economic crisis. We have said in the previous video that Zimbabwe is a deep state. And we do not see how you can dismantle a deep state through an electoral process. So this is why it is important that there must be this dialogue, inclusive dialogue for that matter. All political parties represented in Parliament of Zimbabwe, civil society, trade unions, business people, farmers, young people, and the women's organizations. So that we begin to say, how do we rebuild our economy? We know that many political parties, if you talk of a national dialogue, to them, it's about electoral reform, so that they become councillors, mayors, members of parliament, possible ministers. That's what they want to hear. They want a national dialogue that will discuss the reform agenda, that is the electoral reform agenda. But we are dealing with a deep state. And there's no way that ZANU-PF can reform itself out of power. So what do we need to do, as we expressed in 2017 and also expressed in our Congress, the first Congress of the Zimbabwe Communist Party in 2019, that the immediate task is to build a national democratic economy. We did not say that the immediate task is for us to attain state power, for us to rebuild the economy. No. We said the immediate task is to build the national democratic economy. So, and this is what would possibly think that this is what the bishops are saying, that there is need to have dialogue. Dialogue where all of us will agree on how we build a national economy so that we change the material conditions of the people of Zimbabwe. And we're making this call together in support of what the bishops have said, that this national economic dialogue is urgent so that we address these economic fundamentals, because we cannot rebuild our economy if we do not come together as Zimbabweans. We need to come together if we are serious about rebuilding our economy. Yes, we must have a free and a fair election. But as the letter observes by the bishops again, we now have, if you check the build up to an election, there's so much violence that is taking place. This is going to play itself out as we get closer to 2023 elections. And as we're saying, comrades can point out examples where a deep state was dismantled through an election, where in that kind of an election, there was no agreement on the framework of conducting that election. So this is why we are saying we need a national economic dialogue. We said in our Congress, we need to win over, especially the military, because the military is key in Zimbabwe. And how do you win over the military? When it does get involved in the national economic dialogue, because the military must be there, because it is a key stakeholder. We can't run away from that. So we support the call by the bishops in Zimbabwe that we must have a dialogue. And the position that we took is that we must have a national economic dialogue. The bishops are saying inflation is now at 192%. That was in June 2022, 192%. And there's no political desire to arrest the situation. Maybe it's not a political desire. They do not know what to do. Those that are in charge of the state do not know what to do not know how to rebuild the economy. And we have said clearly in our political program as adopted at Congress, completing the liberation of Zimbabwe, that we must rebuild the economy based on national planning linked to devolution of power to the people. It is not about implementing neoliberal policies. It must be based on national planning. And we explained clearly how this national plan should be adopted, where every community will be involved in the drafting of this national plan. So this dialogue that the bishops are calling for, it must be a dialogue that begins to say, let us build a national democratic economy based on national planning linked to devolution of power to the people of Zimbabwe. Comrades, we call on all of you. We are in civil society, in churches, in the trade union movement, in political parties. We need a national dialogue, national economic dialogue, if we are to rebuild the Zimbabwe economy. Please write your views in the comment section. Circulate this video to your contacts and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Amandla Comrades.